raises concerns over impact of flash floods in Rivers State. On the foreign scene, dozens dead after apartment block fire in Vietnam. I am Constance Mega with the news. The chairman of Ikwere local government area of Rivers State, Samuel Wanosike, says the operation of commercial tricycles, popularly called keke napep, was banned by the local government security council to enhance the safety of lives and property in the area. Dr. Wanosike, in an interview with correspondent Emeko Otuka, said 4 persons who were arrested yesterday by security operatives in Iguruta community for motorcycle theft also admitted to using tricycles for kidnapping.
In reviewing our security architecture, we have found need to extend the ban to the keke because the same crime and inconveniences Okada were causing to increase the crime wave in the Ikwere local government. Keke have been confirmed to be involved in it. As we speak, 4 boys who are specializing in stabbing and killing people and taking away their bikes were arrested yesterday in Iguruta. They also have confessed of getting involved in kidnapping and that their mode of transporting their victims is keke.
Well, as you may know, Ahoda West local government area has also banned motorcycles from operating between 8 p.m. and 6 a.m. It followed the killing of the divisional police officer in charge of Ahoda, SP Bako Ambashim, and the suspension and reported arrest of the Eze Buako II of Akor Kingdom, Eze Cassidy Ikebidi, for alleged acts of complicity in allowing criminals operate freely in his territory. Now, some women in Port Harcourt say curbing cultism requires intentional parenting and good governance. The women were reacting to Governor Siminalayi Fubara's comments on disciplinary measures against principals who support cultism. Now, they told our correspondents that parents need to put more effort in setting good examples for their children. They also urged the government at all levels to create opportunities for the youths.
I no join court. My husband no join court. So if I sit my pikin down, advise them to no go join court.
Those age children, after school, they should be going for all this wedding, tailoring, that will make them busy. They will not have time to go and look for all those life.
If pikin no get person when go monitor and then leave them, then they waka street by street, up and down. They no go work, they no go school. Then go join court.
The senior ones, the government should provide job. Parents too, they need to caution their children and to look after them. So it's between the parents and the government.
We need to call our children and give them some advice to stop following all those bad friends, to avoid them to join cultism, and we also pray for them.
The family of a woman, Joy Njoko, abducted on her way back from a job interview at a hotel in the GRA axis of Port Harcourt, is calling for her immediate release 13 days after the incident. Her daughter, Chioma Njoko, tells our correspondent that the incident happened on the 1st of September around 9 p.m. Joy Njoko, who works as a chef, was driving home in a silver Toyota Venza when she went missing. Ms. Njoko said she became aware of her mother's disappearance when a family friend revealed that she had been speaking with her on the phone that evening and heard her express concerns about being followed by individuals in police uniforms.
That same Monday, my mom's friend sent my elder sister a message saying when was the last time we heard from her, that she called my mom around past 9:10. My mommy was driving. So while they were talking, my mom made a complaint of the police people that she was seeing in front, that she does not understand what they were doing, but they were still talking. So when they finished, my mom didn't cut the call. Next thing she had was my mom screaming, was like, "What did you do to you people? You people should leave me alone. I didn't do anything to you people." Something like that. She was like, Joy. She was calling my mom, but my mom did not hear. So she said that was the last time she heard from my mom. So she said she's there. I've been trying to reach her. She said, okay, let her get to us.
Well, Ms. Njoko said she suspects foul play as there are inconsistencies between the hotel's reported time of her mother's arrival for the interview and the actual time of her arrival. She also made other claims on why she suspects foul play.
The hotel people, when they asked them for the camera footage, they were saying that the camera got bad, so they don't have a record of anything. Since that 1st of September till this time, we've not gotten any call. So we began to wonder, because now they're like, okay, the only person that we know that offended my mom is my brother's pastor, because this church my brother attends, all of us are like against him going to. And now it happens to be that my brother was the one that referred my mom to this hotel for a job, and the manager that he referred her to goes to this same church. And this hotel happens to be the same hotel that his pastor and the church members normally frequent.
Well, the Rivers State Police Command is yet to speak on this. Moving on, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, Rivers State Command, has arrested 10 suspects for alleged involvement in pipeline vandalism, crude oil theft, and illegal dealings in petroleum products. The command also impounded 9 vehicles carrying illegally refined petroleum products concealed in cellophane bags. Over 28,000 litres of illegally refined diesel was also seized. The suspects were paraded at the command headquarters in Port Harcourt by the state commandant, Basil Igwebueze. In another development, those who use cooking gas as an alternative to petrol to power their generating sets are in danger of a gas explosion. This warning comes after the Nigerian police earlier warned users of liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, and compressed natural gas, CNG, about its volatile nature. We're speaking to correspondent to Ibiuruwari, a former process coordinator at the Port Harcourt refinery, Tony Mwalia, advised users of LPG as alternative for fuel to be aware of the danger involved.
Like those who are using LPG for generator, cooking gas for generator, the advice that they should send it very far from the generator because it's close and it's the generator that radiates heat and the cylinder start getting hot. Once the heat on the cylinder is above the temperature that is designed to hold, it will explode. And if there's any leakage on the pipe we are using for cooking now is designed purely for cooking. By the time you introduce it to a generator and there's a leakage, it will cause combustion, inflate anywhere. So you don't put your cylinder under heat.
Well, Mr. Walia also says the increased demand of the liquefied natural gas is partly to blame for the scarcity of the product.
The demand for gas now is high because many people are using it for their generators at home. The marketers and those who are in the business are trying to capitalize on the rush for it and increase price. That's one thing. Apart from LNG producing gas, the refineries are not producing gas, so they're importing gas as it is today. The LPG is being imported massively. And if they're importing it and they are going to use dollar to import it, definitely the price will be based on the current value of naira to dollar.
Well, the former NNPC staff also highlighted the difference between the LPG and CNG. Well, he said one contains propane and the other methane.
The LPG is more delicate. The LPG is the cooking gas I'm talking about. It's very delicate because if you watch, even when you are using the house, they tell you put the cylinder outside your house. But the CNG, because it's designed to be used as an alternative fuel for vehicle, there's a special place they put it in your car boot. And the cylinder is quite different from the cooking gas cylinder. If you watch foreign cars that come with gas cylinder, you see that the type of gas cylinder they have is not the one we use for domestic purpose.
Well, on his part, TUC chairman Foster Onyefuru says the substitution of petrol for gas could also be responsible for the recent rise in the price of gas. He spoke on Nigeria Info FM's Morning Crossfire.
For the fact that gas has been mentioned as an alternative for the challenge we're having as a result of fuel subsidy removal, you will now see that the speculation now in the mind of Nigerians, this gas very soon, because vehicles will start using it, demand will go very high, supply at the same supply or even more challenge supply. So that speculation has now triggered what you see.
Moving on, as the Rivers State government continues sharing the federal government palliatives, the executive director of We the People initiative, Ken Henshaw, says Rivers people should not have high expectations as there are so many irregularities with the palliative distribution. Mr. Henshaw tells our correspondent that the state government is yet to come up with a definite sharing plan. He also said the sharing process should have been done using a database of Rivers people, which can only be archived if a census had been conducted.
There are different levels of problem with that distribution methodology. We would have thought that the government put together a multi-stakeholder committee that will carefully examine this scenario and develop a detailed blueprint on how to identify these Nigerians that need the support the most. There is no way now that the process of distribution of that palliative will not be construed by members of the party or other people. We are yet to see a blueprint for how the distribution will happen, based on the bags of rice release and also based on the amount of money released. Not expect much.
Well, recall that the Rivers State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, confirmed that the state received the 2 billion naira palliative from the federal government and also said his government will soon decide on how to utilize the money. A palliative committee headed by the state's PDP chairman Desmond Akawo is expected to share 16,800 bags of rice donated to Rivers and other states by the Nigerian Governors Forum to reduce the effect of petrol subsidy removal on citizens. In the meantime, the House of Representatives has accused the Nigeria Labour Congress of lying to Nigerians when it said that the executive arm of government gave each member 100 million naira as palliatives. The spokesman of the House, Akin Rotimi, described the statement by the NLC Assistant General Secretary, Christopher Onyeka, as malicious, irresponsible, and in bad faith. He called on the NLC to retract the statement. The national president of the Catfish and Allied Fish Farmers Association of Nigeria, Mustafa Momo, has raised concerns about the challenges facing fish farmers. Dr. Momo said many fish farmers are grappling with the devastating impact of flash floods, which he says has forced them out of business. Now, he also said those who have resorted to early harvesting of their fish are facing a critical shortage of proper storage facilities. He said this situation has led to an increase in fish prices, affecting consumers.
Access to funds, access to finance is our challenge. Now we're all aware a lot of farms are closing down, even in the states. Let me not start from the flood last year. A lot of farmers are crying now. The flood, a lot of farmers they can't return back to farm. We can have it and subsidize the feed for our people. We can produce massive quantum of fish, healthy fish for our people to live well, to live long.
But Dr. Momo also called on the federal government to take action to ensure that only genuine farmers can access agricultural loans to reduce farmers' dependence on imported fish.
It's unfortunate for some of us who saw it 2 days ago, where the federal government was talking about 570-something billion that farmers need to return back, loans given to farmers. I can say it's good that 5% of that money, I don't think the genuine farmers actually access it. And this is one of the challenges that the farmers are facing. Look at the Rivers State University alone, look at the University of Port Harcourt. We have hundreds of youths that are graduating every day. And I can say, unemployment will continue until we come back to address agriculture.
Still to come, federal government moves NIMSI to Ministry of Interior. Stay tuned.
Special invitation in
Jaye Ogusanya has claimed that he and President Bola Tinubu graduated together at the Chicago State University in 1979. Well, this comes amid controversies surrounding the president's academic records, with some of his political opponents demanding proof of his educational claims. Mr. Ogusanya said those who say the president did not graduate from the school are being mischievous. The federal government has moved the National Identity Management Commission, NIMSI, to the Ministry of Interior. The head of corporate communications of NIMSI, Kayode Adegoke, confirmed the development to the nation's newspaper, but the decision was reached in order to address the problems associated with the national identity numbers, that's NIN, as one of the major conditions for seamless application and obtaining of international passports and other traveling documents. Well, the NIMSI was, until now, supervised by the Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy. And in business, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, says the federal government is ready to make Nigeria the aviation hub of Africa. Mr. Keyamo said this at the 7th edition of the Aviation Africa Summit and Exhibition 2023. held today in Abuja. He said the government will ensure the enforcement of contract agreements and rights of investors. Satellite television DSTV says it is offering a special package called the DSTV Prestige. A statement from DSTV said it is turning its focus to the world of luxury, where exclusivity reigns and customers seek more than just products to create unique and exclusive experiences. The DSTV Prestige special package has 1 year of non-stop premium entertainment, VVIP customer service, a limited edition gold decoder, and exclusive lifestyle benefits. The statement said subscribers will enjoy exclusive discounts from Swatch, Nike, Eco Hotel, Polo Luxury, MedPlus, Tommy Hilfiger, Adidas, and others. The statement also said that the DSTV Prestige is a true embodiment of exclusivity and special treatment. It urged those interested to visit dstv.com/prestige to sign up. In entertainment, American singer Nelly has confirmed that he is back with singer Ashanti 10 years after they called it quits. The two stars were reported to have reconciled earlier this year, a decade after they first ended their relationship. And in sports, a former captain of the Super Falcons, Desire Okparanozie, has announced her retirement from professional football. The 29-year-old striker, who was part of the Super Falcons team that reached the second round of the recently concluded FIFA Women's World Cup, made this known on her X account.
And now we'll bring you news from around the world.
At least 56 people have died and dozens others injured in a huge fire in an apartment block in Vietnam's capital, Hanoi. Police said some 37 people were injured in the fire. The fire, which broke out during the night, has been put off, and the owner of the building has also been arrested. Authorities in Hanoi say many newly built apartments do not meet fire safety regulations. And that's the news. But before we go, another look at the highlights of the major stories. On the news this evening, you heard that the operations of tricycles have been banned in Ikwere local government area of Rivers State over security concerns. A family is calling for the release of a woman who was abducted on her way back from a job interview in Port Harcourt. Experts have alerted residents on the risk of using gas-powered generators. An economic expert has identified irregularities with the distribution of the federal government palliative in Rivers State. And the Fish Farmers Association has also raised concerns over the impact of flash floods. And on the foreign scene, you heard that an apartment block fire in Hanoi, Vietnam, has left several people dead and dozens injured. The news was edited by Martha Okeren-Kim. Cloudy weather in Port Harcourt this evening. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. Remember, peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. I'm Constance Mega. Thank you so much for listening. Good evening.